Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Putri Zafira Zara and this is my ID. I want to presentation about my sociolinguistic final term project. Table of contents. There are 4 topics that I gonna discuss in this presentation. First, elocution act. Second is locution act. Third is perlocution act. And fourth is speech act. First, elocution act. So, what is elocution act? In general definition, elocutionary speech act are act of doing something with a specific purpose and function. This speech act can be said as the act of doing something. An elocutionary act is a complete speech act, an act of doing something, which means the specific purpose of the speaker's intention in mind, such as promising, stating, commanding, denial, prediction, requires, and confirming, etc. In expert definition from Taringan in 2009, elocutionary speech act are speech acts that contain the power to act by saying something. From Wijaya in 1996, an elocutionary act is a speech act that, in addition to saying or informing something, may also be utilized to perform something. And from Searle in 1985, elocutionary acts are the basic units of human communication. Defined by the communicative purpose of an utterance, this act represents the speaker's intended function or action, such as accusing, apologizing, or promising. Felicity condition in Elocution Act. So, linguistic literature concerning the theory of specific speech act often deals with Austin example of marriage in connection with felicity condition. Felicity condition itself is defined as the condition that must be fulfilled in order to make happy or successful utterance. Felicity condition theory. From Austin in 1962 proposed the theory of felicity condition that an utterance can be counted as successful act if the speaker fulfills the condition as felicity condition. Those conditions are preparatory content condition, preparatory condition, secondary sincerity condition, and essential condition. Here is the way to describe felicity condition of informing act below to know whether it is felicitous or not. The example is Evelyn. I want to know what he's like. So Dominic Q, he's lovely, and that's all you need to know. In propositional content condition, Dominic Q will try to give information about her boyfriend to Evelyn. Preparation condition, Evelyn asks Dominic Q about her boyfriend. And sincerity condition, Dominic Q believed Evelyn would know little information about Brandon. And essential condition, it was counted as an attempt of Dominic Q to give information to Evelyn. In order to be felicitous, the speaker must fulfill all the conditions as felicity condition. As can be seen, the propositional content condition was met by Dominique based on her willingness to give information to Evelyn. So Dominique also fulfilled the preparatory condition based on the situation that Evelyn asked Dominique about her new boyfriend. So the secondary condition was also fulfilled by Dominique. Dominique believed that Evelyn would know a little bit about Brandon after being told by her. And the last essential condition was fulfilled by Dominique by uttering the act of informing about. This utterance would be infelicitous if the hearer did not ask the information or if the speaker answered the utterance to the wrong person. So by considering the condition fulfilled by Dominique above, thus it can be called appropriate or felicitous. So felicity condition. Felicity conditions are requirements for an elocutionary act to be performed properly. For instance, in ordering, the speaker must have authority over the hearer. If a servant orders the queen, the act is congruous But if the queen orders the servant, it's appropriate. In accusing the attribute that must be wrong, so one can accuse someone of theft or murder, but not of being kind. Illusionary act reflect the speaker's intention, such as asking, telling, promising, warning, or ordering. An utterance can have direct and indirect elocution. The direct elocution is the literal meaning, while the indirect elocution is an additional implied meaning. So, for example, can you pass the river? The direct asks about the ability to cross the river, but indirect requests the hearer to cross it. What do illocutionary acts change? So, speech act theory has been characterized from two distinct perspectives by Harnish in 2005. First, the idea that speaker expresses show attitude like a belief or desire. For example, in an assertion, the speaker expresses a desire that the addressees believe the content. This Grecian view is prominent in Bach and Harnish in 1979. Secondly, the idea that in an illocutionary act, the speaker takes on certain commitments. For example, in assertion, the speaker takes on the liability that the asserted proposition is true, which involve, for example, the obligation to provide evidence for the truth of the proposition. Elston in 2000. Type of illocution act. Illocutionary acts are classified in speaking activity into 5 forms of speech by Searle. First is assertive or representative, kind of speech act that state what the speaker believes to be the case or not. It can be statement of fact, assertions, conclusion, and descriptions. In using a representative, the speaker makes word fit the word of belief. The example would be affirm, believe, conclude, and report. The second is directives. Kinds of speech act that the speaker uses to get someone else to do something. They express what the speaker wants. They are commands, order, requests, and suggestions. In using a directive, the speaker attempts to make the word fit the words via hearer. Shortly, directive is a speaker try to do something. So the example will be ask, challenge, command, and request. The third is commissive, kind of speech act the speaker uses to commit themselves to some future action. They are promises, threats, refusal, pledges, and they can be performed by the speaker alone or by the speaker as a member of a group. In using a commissive, the speaker undertakes to make the word fit the words via the speaker. So the example will be bet, guarantee, pledge, promise, and swear, etc. 4 is expressive, kind of speech act that state what the speaker feels. They express physiological state and can be statement of pleasure, pain, likes, dislike, joy, or sorrow. They can be caused by something the speaker does or the hearer does, but they are about the speaker experience. And the last is declaration, kind of speech act that change the word via their utterance. In using a declaration, the speaker changes the word via words. Example, price, I know, pronounce your husband and wife. Example of illocution act. An example of illocutionary act that found in Incredible 2 movie, minutes to 18 minutes. Evelyn, as soon as he knew there was trouble. Therefore, I disagree strongly. Evelyn, but we are not going into it right now. This conversation occurs in the office. Therefore, invites all superheroes to talk about that superhero not should be formal. So, therefore said, I disagree strongly. The utterance contains implied meaning, which may be interpreted as therefore does not agree with the rule of government. In this case, therefore say, I disagree strongly to express his rejection. So, therefore, utterance is categorized as assertive. The second is locution act. Locution act is the act of saying something. So by expert definition, according to Binder in 2013, the illocutionary act discusses about the act based on the what is said. This term means there is no implicit meaning behind the utterance. This kind of act are divided into a few categories. They are the act of setting, it is hot here, asking, are you sure, inviting, come to the party tonight, warning, don't do it anymore, and requesting, may I have this chair. And from Durufan and Yunus in 2017, illocutionary speech act is one type of speech act that is expressed in the form of meaningful sentences and can be understood clearly by the speech partner. So, a locutionary act is a type of speech act that is not occupied by responsibility for the speaker to carry out the contents of his speech. According to Zumar in 2012, the locutionary act was the physical form of the term employed by the speaker as well as the semantic meaning. It indicated that the speaker declared a significant linguistic pairs or the literal meaning of its own statement when it created the utterance. And the last is from Chair in 2010, defined the locutionary act as the act of stating something, implying that it is a speech act used to speak or proclaim anything. As a result, it may be argued that the first thing that arises when the speaker produces the utterance is to express, state, or deliver information with no other intention. Structural form. So the idea of the locutionary act was associated with the proposition of the utterance. In this scenario, the utterance is viewed as a unit composite of two elements, subject and predicate. Declarative, interrogative, imperative, and exclamation form are the many structural forms of the locutionary act. First, declaration form. So the utterance usually in the form of statement about something. So declarative form can be defined into two, namely positive form and negative form. The positive form is declarative form that used to state something, while the negative form is used to deny a deed, profession, event, or circumstance. Second is interrogative form, an utterance that has the form of a question and is used to ask. The interrogative form has the following qualities. It always needed with a question mark. Starting with question words such as using auxiliary verb like could, might, should, would, and so on. And used to be like is, am, are, was, were. And using HW plus 1H. Is conversation. In conversation, the speaker usually use rising intonation when asking through yes or no question to get responses in the form of confirmation, while it used to fall intonation when it used WH question, in which the speaker expected a clear and long responses. And the third is imperative form, a sentence used to express order, invitation, warning or prohibition, blesses, congratulation, etc. The imperative form is usually added with the word please to express it politely, which can be put at the beginning or at the end of the sentence. And the last is exclamation form, a sentence used to express someone's feeling about something spontaneously because of wonder, awe, surprise, sad, and etc. So, example of locution act by Nick Raymer in 2010 stated, the locutionary act, the act of saying something, is the act of expressing the basic, literal meanings of the word chosen. For example, in uttering the words, you will get your hands blown off KO. And speakers performs the locutionary act of stating that the hearer will get their hands blown off. Locutionary acts produce a meaningful linguistic expression. It is to produce an utterance with a basic meaning. For example, in the sentence, the dangerous dog is in the garden. The speaker is producing a sentence the meaning of which is based on the reference to a particular dog and garden in the external world. This act is basically saying utterance without anything meaning beside the actual basic meaning behind it. Perlocution act. Perlocutionary act is called by the act of affecting something. So perlocutionary act concerns the effect an utterance may have on the addressee. Perlocution is the act by which the elocution produces a certain effect in order to exert a certain influence of addressee. It means a perlocutionary act is the hearer reaction toward the speaker's utterance. So expert definition of perlocution act from Leviathan in 1983, elocutionary and perlocutionary are the main important part of speech act because the perlocutionary are implied after the elocutionary act. And from Giuliani in 2020, according to speech act theory, a perlocutionary act is an action or psychological state resulting from speaking. And the last is from Christensen in 2018. Perlocutionary speech act discuss about the effect caused by the speaker to hearer. So perlocution forms. Perlocutionary act can take various forms, including first, persuading, is convincing someone of a particular point of view. Second is convincing, is making someone believe something. The third is scaring, is causing fear or anxiety. The fourth is insulting, is causing offense or hurt. And the last is getting the addressee to do something, is influencing the listener to perform a specific action. So example of perlocution act, it is rain outside. So locutionary act is the meaning of the utterance itself. It means that it is raining outside. Elocutionary act is when the speaker wishes the hearer to use umbrella if the hearer wants to go outside, or the speaker wishes that the hearer not to go outside and stay still in the room. And for perlocutionary act is the effect from the utterance. The hearer uses umbrella when he or she goes out. She goes outside, or the hearer stays still in the room. So every utterance created by people in their communication consists of three related acts that are locutionary act, elocutionary, and perlocutionary. Each act has different function embedded in the utterance. Since elocutionary act convey the force in delivering the intended meaning of people's utterance, then the research takes the elocutionary act as her research objective. 4 is speech act. What is speech act? So, by expert definition, first is from Austin in 1962. First proposed the notion of speech act by stating that to say anything is to do something. And from Euler, in other terms, a speech act is an activity performed through speaking. According to Euler in 1996, speech act theory is an action performed using language. And the third is, in line with it, Cutting in 2002 explained that a speech act is the purpose of utterance such as promises, apologies, and threats. And 4, according to May in 1994, as stated in Zumaro in 2012, the speech act are activities in the current condition of affairs. And according to Lech in 1982, speech act is governed by speech contents, which include the speakers and listeners, the content of the speech, and the aim of the speech. And according to Hamay in Sumarsono and Paina Pramata in 2010, speech acts are part of speech event, and speech event are part of speech situation. Rule of norm of speaker regulating if every speech event are limited to activities or aspect of activities. And speech event are a series of several organized speech acts to achieve a goal. Speech events are social phenomena determined by the language skill of speakers in dealing with certain situations. If in a speech event it is more seen in the meaning of the action in the utterance by Izar in 2022. And the last is from Trida Laksana in 2014 mentioned that a speech act is the uttering of sentence to state that the speaker's intention is known to the listener putra yasa. So, theory of speech act. Cohen and Lefesque in 1985 proposed a theory of speech act in 4 parts: an account of some propositional attitudes, example like belief, knowledge, intention, and the second is a theory of action and its relation to the attitudes describing, and the third is a description of the effect of locutionary act on the mental state of the participant of sentence, which particulars at syntactic and semantic features, and the last is definition of the performance of illocutionary act as the performance of any action, linguistic or otherwise, under appropriate circumstance by speaker holding a certain intention. Felicity condition. So felicity condition in speech act. Felicity conditions are the specific circumstance and contextual factor that must be present for a speech act to achieve its intended purpose. If their conditions are not met, the speech act is considered infelicitous and fails to perform the intended action effectively. So the relationship between speech act and felicity condition is crucial in understanding how speech acts are evaluated for their validity and effectiveness. Felicity conditions are the requirements that must be met for a speech act to be considered valid and successful. The relationship between speech act and felicity condition is central to understanding how speech act function and when the success or fail. So J.L. Austin introduced the concept of felicity condition to explain the criteria that must be met for a performative speech act to be successful or felicitous. Types of felicity condition. So there are 4 types of felicity condition. First is preparatory condition. This condition ensures that the speaker has the necessary background and context to perform the speech act. For example, a promise can only be made if the speaker has the ability to fulfill the commitment. And the second is propositional content. This condition ensures that the content of the speech act is relevant and appropriate for context. So for instance, a promise cannot be made for something that has already passed. The third is sincerity condition. This condition ensures that the speaker has the intention and genuine feelings to perform the speech act. For example, a promise must be made with the genuine intention to fulfill the commitment. And the last is essential condition. This condition ensures that the speaker has the ability and capacity to perform the speech act. So for instance, a promise must be made by someone who has the ability to fulfill the commitment. Aspect of speech act. So there are 3 aspects of speech act. First is speech context. So speech context in the context in a relevant physical aspect or social setting of a speech in question. Speech context is defined into 5 aspects, namely is speakers. First is speaker and speech partners. Second is speech context. Third is speech objective. Fourth is speech as a form of action or activity. And the last is speech as a product of action herbal by Fatma in 2018. The second is speech situation. Aziza and Sohardi in 2020 reveal several aspects that must be considered, including speaker and speech partners, context, the purpose of speech, speech act as a form of activity, and speech as a form of verbal action. A speech situation is a situation that gives rise to speech. In communication, there is no speech without a speech situation. And the last is speech event. A speech event is an occurrence of ongoing linguistic interaction in one or more forms of speech that involve 2 parties, namely the speakers and the interlocutor, with one subject matter in a certain time, place, and situation. Thus, the interaction that takes place between people at a certain time by using language as a means of communication by Wijaya in 2022. An aspect that considered in a speech situation, there are speaker and addresses. Speaker and interlocutor include writers and reader in the written discourse. Aspect related to speakers and interlocutor are age, social background, economy, gender, and level of intimacy by Amini Fard in 2014. And the context of an utterance. Context can be understood in various ways. Context is all background knowledge, namely between the speaker and the hearer, which is the contribution of the hearer's interpretation of what the speaker means from a speech given and understood by the hearer, by Amini Fard in 2014. And the goal of an utterance. The purpose or function of a utterance speak more about the intent of the utterance or the intent of the speaker in his utterance. In pragmatic, speaking is a goal-oriented activity, by Amini Ritwal in 2014. Speech in the form of action. Pragmatic describes verbal action or performative that take place in specific situation at a certain time. In this case, pragmatic considered language at a more concrete level than grammar. Speech is considered a form of activity which is an act of speech, by Santosa and Kurniadi in 2020. And the last is speech act, a product of verbal act. Of verbal act. Speech is a language element whose meaning we study in pragmatic. Speech used in pragmatic refers to the product of a verbal act and not only to the verbal act itself. It describes the pragmatic in the study of the meaning of speech, whilst pragmatic is the study of the meaning of sentence, by Santosa and Kurniadi in 2020. Types of speech act. So there are three types of speech act that we discussed before. There are elocution act, locution act, and perlocution act. So speech act are divided into three types, namely locutionary, and perlocutionary. A locutionary speech act is a speech act in which the meaning of the speech is under the speech of the speaker. An illocutionary speech act is a speech act of doing something related to the function and other intent of the utterance, and perlocutionary speech act are utterance uttered by speakers that have an effect of influence on their speech partners, by Hasana in 2019. And this is the resource from my presentation. That's all from me. Thank you for your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.